here she is again. Got a few things on my mind with this thing. I ordered some Brian Tooley dual 660 springs earlier. Well, yesterday. So they should be in sometime this week, and I want to swap them out. So I'm gonna go ahead and tear the car down. So whenever the springs get here, all I gotta do is just put them in. Also, I'm really thinking about upgrading the turbo, just going ahead and getting it done. But this thing is pretty crammed in here as it is. It's a small turbo, as you can see, it's right up against everything. So it would take some hot side changes or moving the radiator up probably a good ways. Probably have to cut the radiator support and build something else to hold the latch. But so that's kind of what I'm going to do today. I'm going to play around with that. I have this S475 clone right here in a T6 flange that's going on Chuck's car that I built that engine for, which I have an update video for that. So I might test fit that, pour the radiator, see how terrible this thing is to get in there. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get to it and start tearing this thing down. Here we are about a week later in this thing. I haven't done anything since I last filmed some of the time lapse, but this is not the turbo that I bought, but this is pretty close to it, I think, size wise. So here's the Gen 1 billet 7875 that I had on the car. I've got this sold. It's going to Jason in Texas, and this is an S475 clone from VS Racing. This is a T4 turbo flange, and I'm going with a T6 S485. I believe the housing is the same size, but just the wheel is different on the compressor. So I've already bolted this in the car because it already had a T4 flange in it, and it fits pretty close. I think I can make it work. I'm gonna have to move the radiator up a little bit and make a whole new downpipe. I've got some oval 4-inch exhaust pipe coming to make for a downpipe. I'll show you. Frame rails are very tight on these cars, and I could barely fit the 3-inch in here. So there's the downpipe down there, and of course the downpipe has to go through here, and you can see where it was just rubbing on the frame rail already. I wanted to show you the springs that I got in the mail. These are the Brian Tooley 660 springs with titanium retainers. Good old titanium goodness. And some brand new valve springs for the old junkyard 5.3. This stuff is too good for it, but maybe that'll cure some of my, what I think was valve float issues. And I wasn't really sure if it was valve float or if it was back pressure, or it was back pressure causing valve float, or if it was, you know, I don't know. But I'm gonna try to cure all this stuff at one time. Just be done with this little issue. So I got some work to do. Let's get started. It's here. It is here. Good gracious. This thing's got the coronavirus in it, I'm sure. Straight from China. Ooh, got that old spoolie boy. That spoolie boy. Golly. That's awesome. Ooh. Ooh. Mmm. Golly. Oh yeah. This should make some power. Make some power. Mmm. Holy crap. Holy crap. BS Racing. So I worked on the car all day yesterday, and I think I pretty much just went backwards. As you can see, the car has no hot side on it now. Pulled it off, and it's still off. I tried to do a few things with it yesterday, but this turbo is so gigantic that I can't get it to fit under the hood with the way it was. It was hitting these ribs kind of like right here, which I can cut these ribs out and probably make it clear, but I don't want it to be that close in case the motor rocks a little bit whenever I'm driving or at the track or something. I don't want it to just be hitting the hood. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. Here is the pieces of the hot side that I kind of cut apart yesterday. I kind of ground down all the old paint off of it. These are my first like MIG welds. I actually bought the MIG welder and made this like immediately after I bought it. So they're pretty ugly. I kind of want to change the whole thing. I'm not sure what I want to do yet. So these were kind of wide into a 2-to-1 merge collector, which I have here in the trash because I just threw it away. This is what went into the T4 flange on this side. And since I've got a T6 flange, I got it where it would go from, which I thought it was around 3-inch coming off of there. I forgot I had cut it way down in order to fit the other turbo on the car. So I probably am going to just buy another flange, 3-inch to T4 flange. Figured I'd walk you guys through in case you haven't changed valve springs before. I've got all these done, all of them on the passenger side, or yeah, passenger side done, except for these two here. So I've got this is just a cheap valve spring tool off of Amazon. I can't remember the manufacturer, but it looks like this, and I just got pretty good reviews. So I've got the air hooked up. I also have this piston at top dead center, which means the piston's all the way up, and I usually check that while I'm putting a coat hanger in the spark plug hole and feeling the piston, make sure it's all the way to the top. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this out, and basically what you do is you just wrench this down and it pushes down and you can pull the locks out. So let me go ahead and show you that. You can see the air push the valve back open. You can just take a magnet, get the locks like that, like that. Then you run this back out, get the spring out. springs are out. Now you're going to have to remove the valve seals so you can put the new valve seats in, or the valve spring seats. These can be a little stubborn sometimes. These are new valve springs I put in when I put the engine in, so they're a little easier than some. Takes a little bit of finesse. I just take and wiggle it, and then I can pry up with a screwdriver and they usually come out. Alright. Seals are out. Now you got to get the valve seats out. I usually just use a pick. Sometimes they're suctioned in there with the oil. Seats are out. Go ahead and pop your new seats in. And then you can get your valve seals. There's various companies that make valve seal installer tools. I just use a 12mm socket and a hammer. Socket fits just about perfect over. What you really don't want to damage is the spring. So it fits pretty much perfect over it if you use a 12mm. And you have a brown and a black in this BTR kit. The brown is exhaust, the black is intake. And how you can tell that is this exhaust port lines up with the exhaust manifold here. Let me drop everything. What I usually do is just slide them over the valve. And just tap them on. And you can kind of hear the pitch change whenever you get them fully seated. It's fully seated there. The intake side. Seated. Seated. Then you can pop your new springs on. And I got the kit with the titanium retainers. A little less valve train weight, a little more valve train stability. If you're spending $230, why not spend $300 and get the best? This is what I always say. So you get these in there, and then you take and run this back down where it's supposed to be. Sometimes it takes a little finesse to get these locks in. And looks like BTR gives you an extra one, because I do have one extra one in here in case you shoot one across the room, or in my case across the driveway, because I don't have a garage. That might work. One side got locked in. Alright, I can run it back down or run it back up. There we go. Usually what I'll do is I'll tap them with a rubber mallet just to make sure all the locks are seated. Seems to be good. Now I can put the valve train back together. Well, it's been about a week since I've done anything to the car. I don't know if you can tell by my voice, but I've had the flu all week and wasn't really able to do anything this weekend. It's now Sunday. I've been kind of laying around resting. I've got a lot of my parts in though. Just so you can see, there's a size difference between a S475 T4 and a S485. This freaking thing is huge. But I've got my 5-inch to 4-inch reducer. I've got my oval downpipe tubing, 4-inch stainless. I've got my oval to round transitions. I've got this other T6 flange since I ruined the other one. And I also, since I hacked up this part, I got another 2-to-1 Burge. This is just mild steel, which is what the rest of this stuff is too. I'm just going to MIG this together. I bought a dual regulator for my TIG machine. I'm not that good at TIGging, but I'm going to try to do it. So I'm going to try to back purge when I do the stainless. If I get frustrated, I'm going to get Bruce to weld it for me. But as you see, I had the valve springs installed and all that, but I think me and the wife are going to try to work on the car today. But I'm going to probably try to make that a separate video. Go ahead and put this little update up and let y'all know what I'm doing to this thing. But yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Appreciate you watching. Thanks.